ready for a very special day. This is a very special time. Show me a hill I can climb. Give me a mountain to move, and I'll prove that it's a very special day. I woke up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet, that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day. Early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet, that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day.
A very special day we do have. It's a wonderful Wednesday. That means my partner in crime, my co-host this morning, Bradley Gilbert. Good morning, Bradley.
Good morning, Becky.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy
In the
Wednesday.
hot seat, it's Education Wednesday.
Yes.
We're going to get educated. We do have our own principal of our Bradie Shrum Elementary School, Kelly Williams. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning.
So happy to have you
me.
with us. And
Thanks
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. We, right out of the Bucky shoot, every Wednesday we've been wanting to, when we have Salem, we've been wanting to get you, and we thought, well, this way get a little more seasoned.
Let me get my feet on the ground first.
Yeah, thank you.
We're 2 months in now.
But we've been chomping at the bit to get you in here, so we're so glad to have you with us.
Yeah.
All right, Bradley, let's thank our sponsors this morning.
We've got Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Upland, Celebrity Home Loans, Dr. Blackside Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, and Fox Freely Wealth Management.
Yay! And I've been in Indianapolis yesterday, well, actually last night, or Monday night, and then yesterday, and I want to thank the IBA, Indiana Broadcast Association, for hosting a wonderful convention and learning all kinds of great stuff. And, when you go somewhere like that, a conference like that, and you take all this information and then when you get home, like your family's like, what did you learn? What did you find out? And it's just like,
well, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Thank you.
Let me give you a couple days to talk about
yeah,
it.
it just starts coming out.
Yeah.
It just starts coming out like.
Well, it is funny
random.
because if anything like that, you go and it's 2 days worth of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get back and they're just like, okay, sum it up in 2 sentences. Well, I can't
It was
sum
2
it. I can't
days.
summarize my food up in 2 sentences. What are you talking
Ooh, the food
Yeah.
was delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good food up there, but the food was unreal. I can say that for sure. But as far as like everything you learn and everything you take in and you process it, and so I said it'll start coming out all week long. You'll hear little bits of it. But anyway, hats off to Dave Arlen and his crew for putting all that together. And so it was a lot of broadcasters up there, a lot of talking. You can imagine. A great time. Also, this is the 5th day of October. Today is Balloons Around the World Day, and it shows a hot air balloon. Kelly, have you ever been up in a hot air balloon?
I have not. That is one thing I've never done.
Ooh,
I need
would
to
you
put that
do it?
on my bucket list.
Oh,
Yes,
you
I
would?
would.
Yeah,
I would totally do that.
How
Yes.
about Brad?
I have.
I
I was a Relay for Life.
Yeah.
It was the tethered remix play. But yeah.
I would have loved
It was great. It was
to
amazing.
put
That was on my bucket
Did
list.
you, did you just go up and
Just
down,
went
or
up.
did you go?
It was
yeah.
tethered, so
Yeah.
we stayed. We went up, but it was tethered enough to where you moved a little bit. But we were up there for a good chunk of time, and it was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list.
Some of the people with me were not as thrilled to be up there once they got there. What have I done?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, well then you could already, I mean, you have a captive audience, Brad.
Yeah. Well, it was funny
They're not
because,
going anywhere.
me and one of the other people, we were like leaning over taking pictures, and then there was one that was like right in the middle, like, don't move, you guys are getting too close to the edge, and so
Does the floor move, like, does it, like a basket? Is it really?
Well, it's not a basket, yeah, so but it all still moves, so, but it's not scary. I don't think it's scary, but if you're not scared of heights,
Yeah.
then it's really cool. If you're kind of scared of heights, you still feel secure in there because the sides are, pretty tall.
Kelly, let's do this sometime, okay?
Yeah, you
Let's
guys
make
need
it.
to.
Yeah,
You
we'll
need to.
bring Bride with us.
Yeah, I'll go again.
Yeah.
I'd go again
Yeah.
anytime.
Yeah.
I
All
do
right.
want to go on one where it's not
Like you're
tethered and you
going,
actually
yeah.
just go.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yes.
fun.
Okay. Chic Spy Day. Like if you were, like I think.
007.
Yeah.
Aren't all
Say
moms
anything more.
chic spies, though,
We-
if you think about it?
We just
really?
talked about that.
Seriously?
Yes.
We'll
I
find
think
out.
so.
It
I
will
think
come
so.
spies
back.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it will come back. We do find
Yeah.
out. Do something nice day. I love that.
That should be every day.
Yeah. And Kelly, I'm sure at the Bradie Shrum, I'm sure there's all kinds of, like, you see, like, I call them purple cows when people just do things randomly or just,
Oh,
you know what I
yes.
mean, how the blue. Don't you love that?
Yes, that staff is amazing, and they have been so welcoming. So they've been kind to me since the beginning. But
I love that.
every day you see something. Especially, I think that's probably true of all educators. But they're
Yeah.
very giving and kind people. So
Right, for sure. Do something nice day. Today is also Global James Bond Day, so I guess that is true. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bond.
Yeah.
James Bond. Yeah. I'm a James Bond fan. Okay. Let's see here. International Walk to School Day. Did you walk to school, Kelly?
I did not. No, I
No,
don't.
you didn't. I did.
Yeah,
I was a
yeah,
school
yeah,
walker.
yeah.
Yeah. And I had those days when.
There's a good thing about that, and there's a bad thing. Like, if you're used to walking, and then you can't be like, well, I can't make it to school today. Well, you're close enough to walk. What's going on? You know?
I'm sure back at Earth where there was a little pushing. Go.
I doubt that.
But we lived up there by on Martin Heights, right up there by the Bradie Shrum, and now I think there's a school bus that goes through. But used to there wasn't, and you just kind of
You hoofed it.
You hoofed it. Yeah. It made you just so tough. National Apple Betty Day. Now, Brad, you're gonna have to help me. It looks like a pancake almost with ice cream on it or something, like an Apple Betty. Maybe Kelly?
I don't know.
No, I
It's not in my
don't.
league.
I don't.
But I would take one. I think
That's
that's
good.
we gotta take it. National Get Funky Day. Let's get funky. Play that funky music.
My fro's on point today.
Yeah. Get funky over there. National Kale Day. Kelly, do you eat kale?
Occasionally, I will. Actually, I don't. I put it in a smoothie if I have kale. I don't eat it any other.
Ooh.
Sometimes a salad. Sometimes, but
What about you, Brad?
I do. My favorite thing is a kale and cabbage salad with like Asian dressing.
Ooh,
Sesame
yeah.
dressing, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah. Kale's supposed to be, the darker is supposed to be really good for you. Yeah. National Kiss a Wrestler Day. I hope Autumn Scott Hall's listening. She's probably kissing all of her guys out of there.
Yeah.
National Pumpkin Seed Day. Kelly, do you eat the pumpkin seeds?
I do eat pumpkin seeds. Yes, I do. Those are a nice snack for me sometimes.
They are good.
Yeah.
What about you, Brad?
I agree.
Love that. National Storytelling Day.
That's
Kelly,
it. This should be every day.
I love a good storytelling.
Mhm.
You've got me if you're going to tell a story. What about you, Kelly? Like,
I do. I like storytelling and book reading. And,
Yeah.
I love walking past classrooms and seeing story time. That's very nice.
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah, Brad, you like it too.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
It's called HR.
Yeah. You hear all kinds of stories.
I have a lot of people tell me stories every single day. Yes. Oh, it's storytelling hour. Okay, awesome. Yeah. No.
All
no.
gather around.
We get that in education too. Kids like to tell stories.
Yeah.
It was a dark, dark
Yes.
night.
Yes. You're never gonna believe this happened.
This is
No,
scary,
yeah.
during Halloween. Scary
I don't
story.
think this could be duplicated again.
No.
Oh, of course not.
You're never going to believe this. Don't you love those lead lines?
Yes, yes.
This one will knock your socks
Or
off.
are you setting down?
Yeah.
This story's going to knock you over. No, no. So, but I there is, Mike King is a storyteller, and the funny thing about him is a great storyteller doesn't have to embellish anything.
No.
And when they're just like, and he doesn't have to, God help us, he does not have to at all. Anyway, but you know, that's kind of getting to be a lost art, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's just I like someone who can just, you know, a good storyteller. I think that's important. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know if social media got away from that. We try to tell our stories that way. I don't know.
I like
not trying to be too in depth.
No. But I think like a campfire, like if you're sitting there around a fire and there's a storyteller, you know, I just best day ever. You know what I mean? I'm there. And this is also Random Acts of Poetry Day. A poet don't know it. Make a rhyme any old time. You know. I remember. I'm pulling out some old ones right there. I was like, oh gosh. I'm trying to think of it. Anybody know any poetry? No.
I don't think I do.
No.
Nothing comes to mind at 8 o'clock in the morning.
No.
Yeah. We're just trying to get up and get out the door, right?
Yeah.
All right. We have the same color shoes on. We're good. You know what I mean? Yeah. World Teachers Day. Yay. World Teachers Day, Kelly. Awesome. Yes. Very good. So get out and enjoy on this wonderful date for sure. All right, let's see here. I want to remind everybody we got the Boo Bash coming up on the 29th of October, and it's a little confusing. Okay, that's the Saturday before, and Kelly, I want you to, if anybody, you know, at school, we want to make sure everybody knows this. On the 29th, which is the Saturday before Halloween, we're going to be hosting an event at the museum, and it starts at 5 o'clock. And all the kids come, and there'll be gobs of candy, and different community members will be passing out candy. Then at 6:15, we're going to stop, and then everyone can go to the square and watch the parade.
Oh,
and then
be awesome.
I don't know of any events after the parade, which I'm sure there'll be enough candy, there'll be enough energy that everybody will be ready to say good night. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, what a night! Late October, back in 6, back in 22.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody will be ready to call it a night. But then on Halloween, the city of Salem will do the trick-or-treating, and I'm sure Pekin and the Campbellsburg area and all the West Washington area too. But want to make that, but that'll be on Halloween for that, the actual trick-or-treating. So not to be confused. We always do ours hosted the Saturday before, just so we don't interrupt the actual Halloween.
Yeah, that's good.
So
and then you'll be with us.
Absolutely.
Halloween
Wait, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Riley, yeah.
Yes, you'll be with us.
Of course.
So WSLM and Walmart are having a trunk or treat across the road here out in the parking lot. So Becky's kind enough to she's gonna make it a lot more successful.
We're gonna actually
she's propping us up.
We're doing the Michael Jackson dance.
Oh,
the
fun.
Thriller.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you do? I'm sure you can do it too.
Well,
okay.
Yes,
we can
don't
sing,
make me. But
yeah. Well, you can be right up there with us, Brad. Yeah.
Right there, absolutely. But
Brad's the lead on
it's
that.
going to be, and it's the same night as we're doing it from 5 to 7.
Perfect.
Because 6 to 8 is the city thing. So we'll let folks go trick or treating to see their friends, family, or stuff, and we're just wanting to make sure, with everything going on, there's going to be plenty of safe candy, things like that.
That's exactly right.
We're going to have some. A walking taco version, but it's going to be chili in a corn chip bag and cheese, and we may be doing some stuff with caramel apples, Becky. Our weakness there, right?
No, it's horrible.
And
I've had so many already too.
Yeah. And I think we're going to do the pumpkin roll sundaes.
Oh.
Pumpkin roll, vanilla ice cream, caramel sauce.
I will wear my buffet.
Yeah, and all the money, all the proceeds go to Riley. We're doing it still going to Riley. So
I love that. I just saw a commercial the other day and listened, and boy, you just, Riley's hospital. We are so blessed,
yes.
and just what they go through, the families and everything. So they are just rock stars up there.
So Becky's going to come over and do some stuff, and we're gonna have fun. It's gonna be an awesome time, right?
It's always fun. Always fun.
It's kind of like a neighborhood party over here on the East End.
The East End.
We're representing.
Wasn't there a song East End Boys or something like that? East End Girls or something like that?
Yeah,
East
there's
End, what is it?
It's West End Boys. East End girls, West End boys.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
whatever.
There you
Whatever
go.
we are.
It's
We're on
fine.
the East
It's
End
fine.
over here,
Yeah.
and we're going to have fun and a great time. And I do want to say that that's something so important as a parent, and, and all of us in the room here, safety and making sure, and, going to, you don't want to go to random houses that you do not know, and
Right.
going to these events and going to places that you do know. You just want everybody to have a great time and a fun time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, so those are some events coming up. Also, the political forum will be on the 10th of October, and that's right before election starts. So that for those, actually, I'm trying to get everyone informed before they start doing the early voting. A lot of people are doing early voting and not doing, not going in person anymore. Some still are, but every vote counts. So we wanted to kind of have it earlier so they could. Brother, you're smiling. Yeah.
Well, no,
Yes.
I was out of town last
Yeah.
year, and I did
Yeah.
not make it, and I've made it to every single one.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and I'm a huge advocate, and,
Yeah.
and thank you for offering that service to our community. It's very important, and it's like you're not going to go out and buy a car and not do some research and find out what if that model and that
Yeah.
car is what's best for you. And I think you need to do the same thing. You need the same due diligence with your political campaign person, because they are going to be representing you, and that's what they're supposed to do. So that's my soapbox moment on that. I think it's very, and it doesn't matter what letter you have after your registration or which way you vote. It's just check out the candidates and see who's going to be best for you.
Yeah.
I just think it's important.
Very good. So we're very excited about that, and we'll keep reminding people of that. All right, let's jump in. Kelly Williams, we're so glad to have you with us. And 2 months in.
2 months. Yes.
The new principal. So let's talk a little bit tell us about yourself and for maybe those that are not familiar with Kelly.
Sure. Well, I'm Kelly Williams, and new principal at Bradie Shrum Elementary. I have a background. Originally, I have an untraditional path to education. I went out of high school, have a degree in interior design, and decided to move back to my community. And I was like, what's the best way to serve my community? And that's kind of what led me to education. Went back to school, have a background in special education, so I started out my career in special education at Vienna Finley Elementary in Scottsburg. Then transitioned back what I would call home to West Washington, and worked there for 12 years. I was special education teacher, then transitioned to our technology coordinator, director, and had implemented our one-to-one program over there. Through that process, I had gotten my administration license and have been considered an administrator over there for several years now. And then this opportunity came up. We spoke earlier, but my kids are older, and things just kind of fell into place. With the pandemic, it also really pushed our technology efforts forward faster than we even thought possible. So it just felt like a what's next. And then the summer, a friend of mine said, "Hey, have you seen that Bradie's has a opening?" And I jumped and I said, "Let me try. Let me see." It just felt like the next thing for me. I've always loved elementary education. I have experience K through 12. I love high school kids. That age group is really intriguing to me, but when it comes to the actual nitty-gritty of education, I know my skill set is best suited for elementary. And so I thought, okay, this is what's next. It's time to do that. So after a lot of talk with my family, because we all, Titan and Liddy, are over there still, and they're very, very embedded in that culture, that life, and they're very well taken care of. So I knew that it was a good opportunity for me, and I'm still 15 minutes away. That's what I tell them. And as we said, I have spies everywhere, so I know.
That's right. Every good mom does.
I know. So it was the right move at the right time, and so I put my name out there, and luckily, you guys chose me too. So.
And what a blessing for our school corporation, and I think I love and I hope that everyone caught. I love this that you just have always kept up with your education. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You've always kept going further and advancing.
Yeah, I do. I just genuinely love education. I will be honest. I would probably enroll in, if it didn't cost as much money as it does, I would probably enroll in the class all the time. And I think that's important, and I hope that I can bring that as a leader to our school, because you have to keep moving, you know, and just, I'm going to sound old, but I've been in education long enough to see a lot of changes, and you have to keep moving, you have to keep evolving, and education, even in the last 2 years, is different. The pandemic changed things, and we have to grow and adapt, and you can't keep doing the same thing that you did 20 years ago. You're not going to reach the kids the way that we were able to reach kids, even in early days of my career, is different. So I hope that, you know, today at Bradie right now, it's our 1 hour delay day, and so they're learning today. The teachers are learning, and I've expressed to them, we need to keep developing our craft, because that's really what it is. Teaching is a craft, and you have to keep adapting and keep learning. There are some basics and some fundamentals. You know, it's just like basketball. You got to learn to dribble. There's some basics, but then every year you got to kind of set new plays. And so that's what I'm challenging them to do. We're learning a little bit about the science of reading, which is the foundational piece. There's data, there's science, there's research over years and years of how kids learn to read the best. And over the last 2 years, and this is true everywhere in education, we have bigger gaps than we've ever seen in education, because, you know, my daughter said last night, I haven't had a normal school year since third grade, and she's a 7th grader, and that's true. We've had 3 years of interrupted education. So, and just with that, there are gaps. Even if you're doing your best, which everybody was doing their best, there's still gaps. So we have some of those gaps to fill, and some grade levels are having to look at some reading aspects that they may never have had to look at before, because they've always had students that could read at that level. So now we're having to kind of take a step back and look at the bigger picture. So I think you should always be learning and evolving and adapting. Yeah. So I think that's true in every field and everywhere, but
I agree.
Oh, I agree.
especially in
100%,
education.
Yeah. Well, I know that was, you know, the house. I mean, my parents were that way. You know, always keep bettering yourself, always keep going forward, always keep moving in. And I think in education, and I know Brad over at Walmart, they always have meetings to try this and try that, and let's do this or learn this. And I know, but we're talking about education today, Kelly, and I think that is so important, and I think that's got to be exciting for all of your teachers at Bradie Shrum Elementary School are in it for the right reason, and they're there, and they have the same goals and passion that you do. And don't you think that probably excited them to hear their leader, you know, their principal saying, let's keep doing this, let's keep going forward, let's keep taking those steps, you know what I mean?
I hope so.
I
know
so.
At the very beginning of the year, and I mean this wholeheartedly, to say we know that there's a teacher shortage. We know that teachers are leaving, and so, you know, I said to them, like, the fact that you're sitting here right now, it's an accomplishment, and it means you're dedicated to your job and these kids. And because the last 2 years in education, I haven't even been at Bradie, but I can imagine that it was just as hard as it has been everywhere else. It's challenging.
Yeah.
It continues to be challenging. Everything has changed, and so it's a grieving process too, because, you know, through COVID, whether you lost someone, didn't lose someone, we all lost a piece of normalcy. And so I did challenge them to say, let's take some space and let's grieve what we have lost, and then let's rebuild what can be better. It is an opportunity as well. You know, after everything gets shut down, you start to bring back pieces, and that's what we're doing now. Like, we're bringing back pieces, and I've asked them to, like, evaluate each piece. Like, is that valuable? Do we need to bring that back, or is this something we should let go to focus on filling these gaps? So while it's a grieving process, it's also an opportunity to rebuild and take new directions or try new things and, flip the script just a little bit on education.
Well, I think that's interesting to me because you hit on some things that I think great leaders do, and I think especially, and this is outsider looking in, I know a lot of educators, so there's some that are very near and dear to my heart. So it is always frustrating to see a group of people that are doing their best. It regardless, if however our educators showed up during the pandemic to take care of the kids, they were doing their best,
Absolutely. Yes.
But I think it's interesting to have a leader that says, you mentioned grieving. I mean, you don't think about that, but people need, especially, 3 years. So basically we've had 3 years that have not been normal so to
yes.
speak. We know we're looking at how that affected our kids, but the teachers, I mean, it disrupted their lives
Absolutely.
worse than, they've got families and everything like that. They had to relearn everything. They had to embrace technology that they didn't think would go that fast, etc. But I think it's important to say that I think these folks that have been through a lot in these 3 years, at some point they need that person to come in and say, okay, this is what's happened. We're getting through this, but let's get a roadmap forward. Let's look forward. Let's look at the opportunities. Let's be proud. And I think it's all they've been through. It's good to have that support to say it's been tough, but we're going to get through this together. And I think sometimes people think that's a little cheesy, but I think that's important, especially with educators, to just realize that whatever you did dealing with education, you've been beaten up a little bit over the last 3 years. And I think it's important to have someone to come in and say, let's be proud of the accomplishments. Mm-hmm. Let's figure out where we're going, and let's see how we can, again, be the best for our kids that we see every day. I just think that's interesting, and I like that idea of approaching that in your leadership role.
I agree. And I think, we have to remember that, everyone you're dealing with, Kelly, or any of the teachers are dealing with, we're talking humans, people.
Yes.
We're not talking.
We're all affected.
We're not a product.
Yes.
I mean, it's not. It's not it's not just an object. These are our students. These are people. These are breathing. And like you said, and not to mention, the sense of loss, but also the fear. Mm-hmm. I mean, there were so many emotions that that went on. That everybody had.
Right.
From the teachers to the aides to the custodians to the bus drivers, to the administration, to to the students, to the parents, the grandparents, everybody,
Mm-hmm.
So everybody kind of. But I think that I sometimes, and it's always a nice little reminder to remind. And I don't want to go back. I don't really want to talk much about COVID because I know we're kind of wanting to go forward here. But I do want to say that it did affect our students.
It did,
and therefore teachers. I mean, like you said. Teachers that are right now, you talk about John Wayne Tough, or you talk about in it for the right reason. Any teacher, like you said, that is in a classroom today, you are solid.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because that you've survived. I mean, they all ought to be just completely honored on that.
Yeah.
And so
it was a big boot camp that we all just went through.
Absolutely.
Did you make it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And we did.
You did, absolutely. And then the children, have had, like you said, there's, I know that, and this is global. This is not just a Salem, not Bradie Shrum Elementary School problem, everywhere. Mm-hmm. But the kids that are coming in, have had those 2 to 3 years without sitting in a classroom, learning to sit by, Brad and Becky sitting beside each other. You can't talk. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Brad and Becky missed 3 years of that. I mean, we got a lot of catching up to. What I mean? Right? No, I mean, things like that.
There are big emotions with those little folks. There are big emotions, and just coming back together, having recess together in a normal way, and we are seeing some of the after effects of that. That there are a little bit more significant behaviors. There are a little bit more in-depth emotions going on for a variety of reasons. There's a little social, emotional interaction with kids. If you've been away from somebody for 3 years, you might be playing a little more rough on the playground, or you don't know, or you're not used to having people in your space. Mm-hmm. So there are challenges, and we're seeing those. That those are the after effects, I think, of what we've been through. We're seeing some escalated behaviors. We're seeing some escalated emotions. And then we talked about that boot camp, but I would say educators, and I'm sure this is true everywhere, we're kind of still in that boot camp because now we're adjusting to that and like, okay, how do we solve these problems? How do we help these kids through these big emotions that these little hearts are having? So, it's an adjustment. We're not through it. I do think, education will look different in a few years, and I think we'll get back to maybe a little bit of what it used to be like, but there will be big changes in there as well. Which is not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. But change is hard, and I think that's where we're at right now. Is change is hard. Yeah. So.
Well, and I want to explain that we're not complaining, we're explaining.
No. Right. Yes.
I feel like that's important. Yeah. We have the elementary principal in here, and and it's very interesting to hear from your perspective. And there's several elementary principals that would be feeling all schools are feeling this.
Yeah, I think so.
It's very interesting for us, the community, to hear from that, from your eyes, and what's going on, and onward ho we go. And just like you said, some of the other things that we never thought of that we do now, have really worked out good in certain areas,
Yeah, there are some great things that have positives, yes. Opportunities. Mm-hmm. Technology advancement is one. I can, the things that we can do and we have available to us now that we didn't have 3 years ago is pretty amazing. And it's also, but we also learned the value of face-to-face and the value of, the value of being able to sit with someone and walk them through the process of learning, So there are some great things that are evolving now as well. So it's exciting.
Well, we, Brad and I, we attended Bradie Shrum Elementary School, so it's always near and dear to that school. I love that school.
It's so big.
School.
Yes,
Kelly.
Yes.
How many steps do you get in a day?
Oh, I haven't tracked them. I should, but a lot. I did have to throw away some shoes because I thought, I can't wear those anymore.
Wow. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
It is. And I did say the transition in my mind. I worked at the corporation over there, and I thought, okay, I'm going to an elementary school, and I thought, this is smaller. It is not smaller. I've learned that very quickly. Just the size of the school and even the number of students. We at Bradie have the same amount of students that are in all of West Washington over there, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
And they're all under about 11 years old, so they're all little.
And that's like, out of the 3 buildings, you have the most students too, right?
Yeah.
So.
And then somebody said that to me. They were like, well, you're one of the biggest schools in Indiana. And I was like, whoa. Whoa. That didn't want to say that.
Now she's got the guys going, what?
It is humbling.
It is humbling.
Yeah.
It is humbling.
Yeah.
And it is a big responsibility, and it is one that I take very seriously, and I've encouraged our staff to take it very seriously. Like, we are impacting more kids than any other building in our county, and that's a big deal.
It is.
It's a big deal. So, it's a big responsibility, but I think we're all up for the challenge. So.
Yeah, well, you were perfect for the job, so we know you can do it for sure. So, Kelly, as far as the elementary, what's the, I guess, like, let's kind of, we're now into October. Are you seeing all the little cute artwork? I love the elementary, and all of the, I guess they're doing, like, pumpkins and stuff like that in the fall.
Well, I will say, when I walked in, you kind of evaluate everything, and you see things differently. I've been Washington County resident my whole life, minus college, so I knew Bradie Shrum, or I thought I knew Bradie Shrum. I knew where it was, and it looks a lot smaller on the outside, but when you get in there, you're like, whoa. I do know my way around now. Like, I can get from point A to point B, so that's good. I did not think that was going to happen at the beginning. But I will say the one thing I noticed when I first walked in is some of the amazing artwork. And so I was asking about it, and they said, yeah, our kids did that. And I was like, well, this is amazing. So there are pieces of art all through that building that are just amazing. And then some murals and things like that. And I have asked the art teacher, I said, you know, we might need to do a few more pieces and some more locations, and they're all on board for that this year too. So, but you know, when I walked in July, there weren't many things in the hallway, and it was kind of bland, and now it's like alive, and that's that's how it is. That's how it is always with the school. When you not many people see it in the middle of the summer when everything's out in the hallway.
Oh, the custodians.
Yes, they do such an amazing job. Like,
it's unreal.
It is.
I'm 100% with you. Because I see that all the time in the summer, and I'm like, you know,
when you walk through in the summer, you're like, this isn't going to happen. We're not going to get back together. But and they do it every time.
Every yard said there's elves. I mean, it's amazing. They're like, they're miracle workers. But
they are.
But if you, but like I said, I tell Brad this. You know, if you're going to clean your home, you know how you pull everything out and you clean behind. And I promise you, the cleanest, you know, buildings. You know, our custodians are just top notch. You know,
they are. So now it's alive. Like, when you walk through in the beginning, you're like, okay. And then you see it come together, and you see all the artwork that the kids have out in the hallways, their work and things like that are out in the hallways, and it just makes it feel so good. And that is special about an elementary school. I think an elementary school always kind of goes above and beyond for displaying students' work, and you see the coloring pages in the kindergarten,
and that's it is an emotional it's an emotional time for kids, but that's generally when the kids are the happiest to see you.
Oh,
you know, they're the happiest to be there normally, because you know, middle school, 6th to 7th, 8th grade, that's a tough transition right there. Talk to me. No, but I mean, I think, you know, because the elementary kids are still, they're still kind of, it's a world of wonder. And they're so proud of everything that they do, and I think that's one thing that is just amazing. It's like, when you see the stuff, it's just like, that makes you smile. You can't help but smile, right, when you see that stuff. So I think that's awesome.
Well, and just like, and I'm going to go on, piggyback on that, Brad, because like, everybody's so excited to be there. I mean, that is a great, that's a great thing. You know, when everybody's so excited, and the kids, this is their normal. This is where they get to see, and you get that relationship with your teacher. I always loved all my teachers. You know what I mean? And you get that relationship, and then every day you see that person, and and that person is teaching you. It's you've got to be excited. You
do, and it's so nice as a leader to be able to walk through, and you see the first few weeks of school, and you have kids struggling to walk down the hallways, and you have some spinners going down the hallways, and now we're 2 months in, and it's like straight little lines, and they're all really quiet. We talk about education, but it's more than reading and math, and teachers do really hard work in the very beginning to get routines and procedures in place, and the art of having 20 students walk down the hallways. We underestimate that, but
that degree of difficulty is Olympic world class right there.
And to see that growth in just a really short period of time, it's always fun to see that progress, that especially in like kindergarten, preschool level. But you master those routines and procedures, and once you do that, then the reading and math becomes a lot easier whenever you master sitting in seats and turning papers in and sharpening pencils. But there's an art there that people don't see, until you're in that world every day.
Yeah. So. Well, I think your life lessons right there. Learning to follow in a line, learning to sit and keep your hands to yourself. Right. These are things that you're learning to wash your hands. And that was the one that got me during COVID in the very beginning was did we not learn in preschool how to wash our hands?
Right.
And,
Yeah, you were like, who isn't washing their
hands?
hands?
And I spent more time thinking about that. It's just like, wait a minute, we're emphasizing this. I'm missing the big picture. We're having this meeting. It's just like, wait a minute, wait. When did we stop washing our hands? And when did we stop, just getting all up in somebody's space?
Yeah.
Right.
Mask or not, when you didn't feel great. I've always been, okay, just transparent,
I'm gonna sit over here.
I'm going to be, don't take it and wash your, because it's just like we used to joke, you go to a restaurant and they would say all employees must wash their hands. Everyone needs to wash their hands.
Yeah, that's exactly
I just want
right.
a sign that says that,
Yeah.
We shouldn't have to remind people, but
Yeah.
So
and then I'm competitive. So if I'm washing my hands and someone else comes up, I never know when to stop. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I'm like,
even if I started there first, I've
I'm
got
going to
to
end.
wash my hands until they're done. It's
Yeah, my
just
hands might be chapped in the waterlogged.
And I've washed all the way up to my elbows like surgery.
I know, because I just want to show you. I am, I'm so I'm very competitive on that too, because I never want to be that last person. That person think, well, did they really wash their hands? Did they do a good job? I know it's silly. Okay, that's things that I worry about.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Kelly, let's talk about morning routines. Dropping off and the school buses coming in. What do you get out there and greet them and? See
I
them?
do. I do some, and then some.
On that.
I do try to get with our teachers during that time too. So sometimes you'll see me out front, and then sometimes I'm walking around and seeing our teachers, because it's one of the few times through the day where our teachers are able just to have a conversation.
To be available.
So I do try, and I have two assistants, Clinton and Nicole, so they're always doing the same too. So Clinton often is at the buses, but so drop off at 7:30, and the kids just trickle in until 8:15, which is a little bit of a change for me, but it's been nice to see. And then we have all kinds of staff out there to help greet them and get them in the right door, and that was so heartwarming the very first few days of school, because just seeing those kids, and they didn't know me, so this was a stranger on the corner here, but seeing them greet their instructional assistants and their teachers and their principals, and just being so happy to be back. That's so nice.
Yeah, I heard it was so funny, because people were like, well, I think I saw her. I think I saw the new principal. I think that was her. They hadn't actually got out, to meet you. And I think they have now.
Yeah.
But it was just funny to hear. Everybody was trying to figure.
And the kids are still trying to figure it out too. Every once in a while, I'll walk into a classroom and they're like, now who is she again? And then the teacher will say, that's your new principal, and and then I have a few. It's going to take some time. I am used to knowing kids' names, every single name, and I'm struggling right now. Well, I will get there, but I think they're struggling with me too. I've been called a couple different names, and I'm like, no, that's not who I am. But and then some just say, "Hey, principal."
Oh, I love that.
Always say,
"Hey, principal."
That would be Brad and Becky. Hey, principal.
So we will get there, but there are a lot of them, so it's going to take a little bit more time than I'd like, but I will get to know them all by noon. I know it.
Wow, that's going to be.
It's a challenge.
Well, no doubt. But they love that, I'm sure, and I'm sure I love that you're. If you can get the majority, that's wonderful. But Kelly, tell us a little bit about education, and I guess where we're at, and how. I guess tell us a bit, maybe for those. I feel like this is some really good information for those that are not in your world, and the school world is a whole different world than other. So how is education coming along? Where are we at, and what's going on with it? I guess.
Well, like we touched on earlier, things are changing and things are evolving, and there are some gaps to fill just based on 3 years of disruption. Our focus is always on elementary level reading and math foundations. I mean that we see Bradie as the beginning and the foundation to build on the other two schools and the educational process that they have to go through too. So we're taking a real hard look at our reading and math scores. We're digging real hard into our data. We're looking at the past and seeing where our gaps are and how we can fill those gaps. So, like I mentioned earlier, there are teachers on different grade levels that are having to take a little bit of a step back to kind of fill in some of those gaps, and we're trying to get them the training and the ability to be able to do that. And then, but we're also looking forward, and you have to kind of see what the outcomes are. There's a lot of debate in education, I think, about standardized tests and whether we should or shouldn't. I will say this, as a mom, I've never seen a test that I wouldn't want my kids to be able to pass. And as a special education teacher, I've never seen a test that I think every child should have to pass. So it is the game that we play, and it is a good goal. I mean, to pass our standardized test and to reach that achievement level. So we start at the beginning of the year with that end in mind, and we know when those dates are, and that's our roadmap, that's our goal. Will every student get there? Maybe not this year, but that is our goal. Mm-hmm. And then we work backwards and say, what do we need to do? And like I said, right now in education, and it's not a Bradie problem, it's a worldwide problem, those gaps are bigger. They just are. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge for educators. And then you'll see us over the next few months, start to communicate a little bit more with parents and talk about where we are. Parent-teacher conferences are coming up, and we're asking teachers to show some of the data that we have, and just be real honest about where we are and where we're going. I think we have to be real about where we are to be able to get where we need to go. And those are sometimes tough conversations with teachers. There's sometimes tough conversations with kids and parents. But I think that you have to know where you are to know where you want to go and where you need to be. So those are the conversations we're having right now, and hopefully will get us on that path. I said that at Bradie we all need to be pulling in the same direction, and that takes us coming back together. It's not that anybody was intentionally pulling in a different direction. It's just we've been apart. We've been apart for 3 years in more ways than one. And so this is us coming back together, pulling in the same direction, maybe having to put in some pieces that we haven't had to put in before. And then, if we do the hard work now, we'll get back to a normal setting. But we have some work to do. But so do all educators.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I think that's across the board. You can look at that.
Yes.
And I'm in a world, my part of the world is a metric-driven world with my company. Look at the numbers, turnover, recruitment, all of that kind of stuff. But I think that someone taught me, one of my mentors taught me a long time ago, that metrics are important because from our standpoint, and I think this could go with education, is you need those metrics not to beat you down, but the metrics show you where you need to put your resources, and your people factor into what your resources are. So I think that would equate to educators, that you need those metrics to see where your resources, and not just money and additional tutoring, things like that, but your teachers are the resource. And I think that's, people hate either making a metric or not making a metric, but I think those metrics are important. And I think the transparency of it, like you said, sometimes as a parent, as a student, or anybody involved, there's tough conversations, but it's the best thing to do for the students to let everyone know honestly but sincerely where you are. Where you are.
Yeah, and I tell the teachers, I say, data's your friend. And a lot of people have hide from the data a little bit, or don't want to see the data. And for me, data tells you what you need to do. Data shortens the scope, because in education we are challenged to do a lot of things. We're challenged to feed children, to take care of children, emotionally take care of children, to teach reading and math and more than that. And so when you look at the data, then you see where you need to focus, and it is where are you going to put your time, energy, and effort to get the most out of your time. But we also have to see that we're responsible the whole child, everything about the child.
Yeah.
And we can't only measure our success based on test scores, but we can narrow our focus and make sure that we're filling in where we need to fill in, for who we need to fill in. And different children need different things. So we have to get creative right now.
Well, I think like evaluating it 2 months in,
Yeah.
and then at the end, you know, whenever, you know, so when we used to have summer, you know, when we're done, and you see that huge growth. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
teachers, I mean, to me, that'd be a banner day.
And that is something that I think
that's
that the outside world doesn't see. And that's one of the things I don't like about our standardized tests, because you just see a score at the end with Bradie Shrum, and this is what you score. But you don't see all that growth that all those kids and all those teachers do. And I think that can be disheartening to teachers sometimes. But we know internally what that growth is. But I hope that we can show externally too that, hey, we're moving in a good direction, and our kids are achieving, and we are filling these gaps that we've seen over the past 3 years, and I hope that we can do that. It's not something that will grow every year, but we'll get there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Kelly, I know, and I know Brad and I both feel this, it's so important for parents to be involved.
Yes.
And that one-on-one with your teachers, we love that. And, you know, and everybody working together.
Yes.
And I'm sure with the
And
parent-teacher.
that's important. Working together. Being involved means not being the negative person in the communication process.
Well,
Being involved means two-way conversation, listening to what the educators have to say, and really understanding that they are in it for your kid to succeed in a lot of ways.
Right. Well, and then, you know, when a parent or grandparent, and I just want to put this out there, sits down with their teacher coming fall for the conference, the
Parent-teacher conference.
Parent-teacher conference. I just came from a conference, more conference. Anyway, but when they do that, I want the parents or grandparents or aunts, uncles, whoever's sitting there, whoever's representing the child, to realize the teacher has got your child's best interest. It might not be things, it might not be pretty, it might not be necessarily areas that there might be some weak areas, but working together and figuring out a game plan. When you have that person on your side, it's so comforting, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And knowing that everybody, there's a lot of love in that room for that child.
Yes.
And I love when parents or grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever is involved with the child.
Agree. Yes, I agree. And it, like I said, with our teachers, we all need to be pulling in the same direction.
Yeah.
We need that for our community too.
Absolutely.
We need for our parents, for our grandparents, for our community members to all be pulling in the same direction. And we all have the same goal, which is to produce, to send out into the world, you know, capable, loving individuals, you know, and to make our own world better. And, you know, I think that's what drove me to education to begin with, was if I'm going to be in Washington County, where can I contribute? You know, what can I do? And working in the school system seemed like the best way to do that. So, and it has brought me a lot of joy over the years, and I am excited to be at Bradie now and expand my colors and expand, you know, just expand that opportunity to be involved in kids' lives in a greater capacity. So
Giving back. Well, that's something, and I've always said, you know, Salem School Corporation, on graduation day, if you put, you know, from northern Indiana, if you put, you know, several students in a room, we want to make sure that Salem Community Schools can compete with anywhere else, and we have accomplished that, you know, and it starts, you know, you have to lay a good foundation, you know, and that's very important, and
that's where we are. We're the foundational piece, and you know, you mentioned being competitive. I'm pretty competitive too, so you know, I want to be better than others in the state. I want to be better than others in the county. You know, I mean, let's be real. Like and it is a competitive thing, but these are the kids that are within our reach and in our lives, so we want to see the best for them too.
Absolutely.
You know, it is a little a competitive edge, but it is just, you want the best for the kids that are in front of you, and and you know where that starts, and that starts, well, it starts at home too, but it starts where we can have the impact is in the school system. So
Yeah.
Especially for those kids that may not have the home life that some others do. It's an opportunity. And that's, again, where our educators do a lot of different things other than teach kids these basic skills. I mean, it's amazing.
For sure. So, so then we'll be going on fall break.
yes, that
Yay!
would, so, yeah. It is. I did say that at the beginning of the year too. I said, let's live every day. Let's don't just count down for fall break, even though I know you all have it on your calendars and you know exactly how many days until it's
It's been on the calendar since May, last day of school, you know. Fall break, fall
they have
break.
they have a different calendar than you, Kelly.
Summer break,
I know.
fall break, Christmas
You
break.
can't blame them. You know what I mean?
No, you
There's no-
can't. And I will say I'm looking forward to it too.
Yeah.
You just you need that. You need it to reset, and it's just the breaks in education do come at a nice time to be able to reset and reflect on the quarter that we've just had and adjust for the next. So it's well deserved from those teachers.
It's kind of interesting.
Definitely,
It's kind of interesting. It's already fall break. I say already.
know,
I'm not a
crazy,
teacher, but
yeah.
it's already fall break.
Yeah,
It's like it kind of goes.
And we have fall this year. I like that. Like it.
No,
actually,
that's
yes.
what someone said the other day. We've not had this in so long.
No.
We don't realize what's going on.
I'm still not happy, but that's okay.
He wants summertime pool, but I still think you could jump in your pool, Brad.
It's closed up. It's been the while. I still go to the back door and go. Just a week and a half ago, I was right there floating.
He's got the calendar.
No, I'm mourning that. But no, I mean, actually, I do like some of the aspects of fall.
No, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
don't even. Yeah, he'll take a good pumpkin roll.
I do love some summer and
Well, yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I like the 4 seasons. I'm glad that
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
We're very
getting-
blessed
yes.
in our county.
And it is good that we are actually having fall weather this year.
Yeah.
So, on a personal note, I am going to have to say that I'm a Salem alum. Everybody knows that. I'm involved. I've been welcomed into the
Seeing
West
you at the
Washington.
other side of the county too.
Yeah, I've been involved a lot because I got someone near and dear to me that's West Washington and you guys. So Kelly and I have been in a lot of the same things together.
We have.
Her supporting.
We switched from black and gold and red and blue pretty well.
We do. But one thing, so adding another layer to that is we had a 30-year associate that prior to her 30-year Walmart career, she was an educator, and she decided to retire from us this year, and she's over at Bradie Shrum Elementary, Nancy Predmore.
Yes.
And I want to tell you, so I told her that that's the only thing that I will let her retire for is because I know that she'll be in capable hands at Salem and stuff. And she'd asked me, she's like, what do you think of Kelly? It's just like top notch, just, you're going to love her. But it's funny because, it's one of those things that she's like family to me too. So it's like, well, I trust you with her.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing her to come to us
Yeah,
because she is fantastic. She's been great.
Yeah. So I just, on a personal note, it's like I'm not sure there's a lot of school systems out there I would trust her to. So Kelly, I know, and I see you a lot, so I can give you grief. I'm sorry. So, but yeah,
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, Kelly, time goes by so fast. I feel like will you come back and see us for sure? And congratulations on the position. And I haven't publicly got to say that to you, and I want to say that. And I'm super excited to see what all goes on. And Bradie Shrum Elementary School is so near and dear to my heart, and I know Brad's heart. And as being an alumni and running those schools, and just you can be anywhere in that building when the cafeteria starts cooking. Is that not the best smell ever?
It is. It is. We have an amazing team. Too.
And the food.
Yes, pulls it all together.
Do they ever? Yeah. They are wonderful. And then of course, from the library getting new stuff.
Yes,
getting
the book. I saw that you were out there for that.
Oh,
Thank
my
you
goodness.
for covering that.
Who
That's
come
so
up
neat.
with that idea?
It was prior to me.
Yeah.
So I
love
can't
the
take any
idea
credit for that.
but,
I'm sure Jamie.
It's a vending
saw that all the way
machine, but
through.
instead of potato chips and candy bars, it's books.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
When it's your birthday, you get a token from us in the office. Miss Sadie gives you a little token and a pencil, and you get to go pick out a book. So,
Love, isn't that
How
awesome?
awesome is that?
Yeah, it's really cool, and it lights up. It's,
Yeah.
it's the real deal.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Pretty cool. Well, Kelly, again, keep up the great work. Bradie Shrum Elementary School, we're very blessed to have you there, and perfect fit, great fit. And I know I'm hearing great things. Everybody's so happy. So, of course, that's what we want. You know, what I mean, and I love the whole idea of everybody pulling together. You know, I always use the gladiator. Everybody working together, you get much more done. You know, so, a lot more done. So, and our children, we're very blessed for sure with our children. Which is number one. You got to realize. I mean, these children are going to grow up, and they're going to be taking our jobs some days, and
Right.
so. You know, and taking care of us, we hope,
Yeah.
somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. Brian, and keep up the great work over at Walmart. You got all the fall decorations
Yeah,
out.
fall decorations are out. Halloween
Pumpkin.
candy is out. Our entire Christmas set is all. It's all. So whatever, Halloween, fall, Christmas, whatever, we're set, good to go. So, and I do want to give a shout out to the associates. We just finished our associate engagement survey, which is an annual survey that the associates do about the company they work for, their store, their jobs, things like that. And we, of course, Salem was number one in the market, in the market 243, and probably retaining the crown of number one in the region of 200 stores. So hats off to, and the associates. It's not just about the leaders in the building. That tells what our associates think of each other and their commitment to their job, and that makes our customers win. So very proud of that team over there, and I get to be a small part of watching them do great things. So I'm very hats off to them, and so yeah.
Very proud of our Walmart. I was just bragging up in Indianapolis. Your ears should have been burning. There's not another Walmart like ours. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
there's
pretty
not.
special for
Yeah.
sure. All right, let's thank our sponsors.
We've got Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Upland, Celebrity Home Loans, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, and Fox Burley Wealth Management.
Yay, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Thank you. Birthday party at McDonald's, playing with your family and friends, enjoying cake and that one-of-a-kind McDonald's food and drink. If you're looking for a fun and safe place to have a party for your children or grandchildren, look no further. Party time is back at McDonald's right here in Salem, Mitchell, and West Baden. That's right, hosted birthday parties are back, baby. Call event coordinator Renee Lewis at 812-788-0126 to schedule your birthday for Salem, Mitchell, or West Baden today. The party includes food and drink for up to 10 guests with your choice of white or chocolate cake, ice cream for each child, a gift for the birthday boy or girl, goodie bags for each child, and a festive decorated party area. Parties at Salem allow children to play, while the McDonald's in Mitchell and West Baden will feature age-appropriate games. Let McDonald's make your child's next birthday party stress-free for you and fun for them. Call Renee at 812-788-0126 today and get your next party on the schedule at McDonald's.
This is Melissa Jeremiah with Hoosier Uplands Home Health Care and Hospice. Our professionals are available at 812-849-4447 to answer any questions you have regarding home health care or hospice. The summer heat is upon us. When working outdoors, make sure and stay hydrated. Also check on your neighbors who are homebound. Consider donating a fan or window unit to those who are without. Our family at Hoosier Uplands wishes you a safe summer.
If it's the first Tuesday of the month, then you know it's Customer Appreciation Day at our local Salem, Indiana Papa John's Pizza. Get a hand-tossed or a thin-crust large 2-topping pizza for only $6.99 the first Tuesday of every month. Use promo code CAD2022 when ordering online at papajohns.com. Or order 2 and get it delivered. Call 812-883-3369 or stop by the corner of Main and Hackleberry Streets for your hot, fresh pizza today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Coffee with friends, family dinners, watching the grandkids play soccer on Saturdays, church on Sundays. Sounds pretty normal, but COVID is still there, and if you aren't vaccinated, you're still at risk. We're almost back to normal. Let's give it a shot. Call Hoosier Uplands Economic Development Corporation today at 812-849-4457 to learn more. Let's give back to normal a shot.
Attention seniors, Salem McDonald's has started Senior Tuesdays. Every Tuesday from 2 to 5, seniors receive 25% off their purchase. This offer is not valid with any other offer, and only between the hours of 2 and 5. There's always something to celebrate with McDonald's, with their fresh, hot breakfast, hot cakes, bacon, and eggs, and their bagel sandwiches to everyone's favorite Big Mac and Quarter Pounder. And birthday celebrations are back in Salem, Mitchell, and French Lick with Renee. Stop by today and find out all